Hello, I'm live. I've been working on gaining this capacity here in the Wellness Lab, and I'm so grateful that it has emerged. So, I've just come into this space to do some audio only recording, but wanted to go live to introduce myself for folks who are finding me for the first time. Hello, I'm Amina, and it is such a privilege and a treat to invite you into movement, stillness, and sustainable wellness. It is truly something for everybody and everybody. And I have been drumming up a movement, stillness, sustainable wellness practice I lovingly call MSSW. In some variation of this wellness lab for almost 10 years. I made positive, radical change from my life while living and working in Washington, D.C., to become a yoga instructor, where I was initially based in Phoenix, Arizona, and focused on children's yoga, kids yoga, and family yoga specifically. I became interested in doulaing around that same time in my life, which now is almost 10 years ago. And like I said, and I find myself in the East Mountains of Albuquerque, where this virtual wellness lab is reemerging once again. So, familiar faces from the mountains of San Bernardino, where I had another variation of a wellness lab associated with a real life studio. I'm very, very grateful for you and your contributions here. I'm also really pleased to be getting involved with Yoga Teacher Circles, a global movement to support community building and innovations in community building among yogis and through yogis. So that's just a wee bit of background about me. And I'm looking down because I have these books. I feel like when I'm inviting folks into my yoga practice, I often like to show them the books that have informed my yoga practice. This is a daily devotional of sorts by Mark Nepo. You can tell that this book is really well loved. And what I like about it is that it is a very short, usually 1, 2, maybe 3 page opportunity to read a quote, hear his experience, and then he offers these little guided exercises. So finding a way to ritualize your space and allow your mind body to focus its attention on taking care of our body, and that's all dimensions of our body, is something I tell folks they need if they want to establish their home yoga practice. Yes, it's about having a mat and a space to spread it out, but it's also these ways of ritualizing the space and focusing our attention, or having a ritual that we can go to and rearrange our brain pattern around is helpful. So that type of book, it's not necessarily that this book is what I recommend, it's that type of book, which is why I bring it out first. For these next two, I do specifically recommend these books. These books are The 4 Agreements and Skill in Action. And both of these books come into my yoga practice every day, and they have jumped off the mat into my life through my relationships with my friends, families, and partners too. 3 cheers for this live stream situation to be working, because not everything comes easy in the virtual world for me. And yet I'm really excited about the opportunity to show up here and transcend my physical space to bring folks who want to practice movement, stillness, and sustainable wellness with me, to me, wherever you are. So, like I said, in a moment, I'm going to drop some audio only Wednesday wind down. I also have Mudra Mondays to uplift the stillness practice. I teach hatha and signature formats for kids and families. Once again, please join the Wellness Lab, drop in, see me, speak up about how I can uplift your yoga practice at home this year's end. When we take our yoga practice into our homes, not just in yoga studios, it really begins to dreamscape our lives. It is only when yoga is in our daily, every day, throughout the day kind of life that it really transforms not just our body, but what's possible while we move through this body over time, over our lifetime. Every season in our life is a very precious season, whether that is the climate season we're in, or the age of parenting you are in, or how you are relating to your career or other important facets of what makes you happy and occupies your space and time in this body. um, so this is August. I always encourage folks to practice yoga every day for Asamasana August. It's about designing a way to get to the mat, right? That's part of why I've showed these books as a way of ritualizing the space in which you practice. Just coming to the mat, taking a few deep breaths, paging through a book is enough to initiate that space that you deserve to recalibrate and recharge. Ideally, we activate that space through movement and stillness, but so much of the sustainable wellness is designing for it to happen every day. So, have you practiced every day in August? What would help you practice every day this month? We have a new moon overhead, and as it is growing this month, so can your practice. Designing ways for it to grow this year's end is what I encourage folks in this wellness lab to do. And that is what I'm here to help you do as well. So please never hesitate to request like clinics around specific postures or prescriptions for particular challenges you might be having in getting to the mat or maintaining a practice that makes you happy and feel safe while on the mat. This year's end, there are 3 ingredients to a good year's end practice, and they all begin now. Be here now. So if you are starting your year's end practice with this back to school season, changing of the seasons, Asamasana August, amazing. Brush your shoulders off. You are in the right place at the right time. And if you need a little time to wrap your head around that, to define Asamasana for yourself and figure out what these year's end goals might look like and what ending the year well will feel like for you in your home and in your relationships, then jump on board in September instead with September self-care or October care, where we just dial in some of these individual and household behaviors and how they can come together as a community to protect joy and promote less harm locally and globally. That's October care. My point here, friends, is that every month is an opportunity to get better at being ourselves. And I have been spinning this web of sustainable wellness to keep myself healthy, happy, and sane on this planet. And it is a real treat and pleasure to serve it out this year's end, like I always have through this very simple, highly personalized year's end practice, which begins with being here now, wherever you are, whenever you're seeing this. It is not too late to end this year well. The second ingredient to an effective year's end practice is to look back. Right? A lot of the powerful questions I ask invite us to reflect on what has happened this season, this year, this decade, in this lifetime. And then the third ingredient, the one that is maybe the most natural for folks as we enter a new year. And again, it is never too early or too late to take these year tending gestures. The third ingredient is to look ahead. What would this life that you imagine be? And how can we build in tangible connections to your everyday life now already? Or gradually over the next moon cycle or two. The moon is my favorite accountability partner. She is reliable to us wherever we are in the world. We're looking up at the same reflection. And as that reflection grows above us, so may our confidence, our clarity, and our compassion. I am very outside my comfort zone, showing up here on a live stream for nearly 9 minutes without a script. As said for the third time, I've arrived here to do an audio-only Wednesday wind down, which is available for those subscribed to Movement and Stillness in the laboratory. And it's just a pleasure to introduce myself. My name is Amina. Please shout out if you're seeing this. If it is helpful, drop into the Wellness Lab to practice with me this year's end. Let us end this year well. It has been Play More 2024, and we are coming up on Thrive 2025. Namaste. Bless your scrolling fingers and your scrolling eyes.